What do I do in Brecon? Music. My name is Angus and I'm a music man. I live, breathe and eat music. Yeah, Angus comes from Angus Young from AC/DC, who I've been a sort of massive fan of since I was 11 or 12 years old. And I used to like that, going to discos and gigs back then, dressed in a school uniform with a satchel and everything and the hat. And I just got known as Angus. It was given to me as opposed to I chose it. And it's because of one of those names that just sticks with you. And then 49 years later, well, less than 49 years later, but you know what I mean, I've still got the same name. So it's just stuck. Well, in the 1980s, well, when I remember being here in the 1980s, there were bands. Paul Kettle was out there doing his stuff, but it was just in pubs. You know, it's not like it is now. It's not spread out like it is now across different venues. I do like the stuff that Rare Thing are doing. I really like the stuff that Rare Thing are doing, and I think that with the nucleus of the lineup that they've got, they've every chance of making it. But again, they've got to go further afield. They can't just be relying on getting gigs in Brecon surrounding area. Sadly, I think it's very difficult because it's just easier to do covers. It's easier to do covers, and it's easier to get gigs in venues doing covers than it is showcasing original material. I do quite a lot of cover related projects, but my passion is showcasing original material, and if I can't do the original material, then I'm probably gonna give it up and go do something else, because that's my interest. I don't know what it is in Brecon nowadays. There doesn't seem to be any young bands anymore. There was quite a few. A few years back there were quite a few choices, but now there doesn't appear to be anybody young. I'm looking forward to the new Albuquerque stuff. Stuart is telling me that it's a very different sound to the Vandalists, so I'm very interested to hear that stuff. And of course Laurie Parler's got this new project, Herschel's Barn, that I'm very interested in and looking forward to hearing that new stuff, new project. Well, I'm looking forward to the Fringe, never mind about Brecon Jazz, but I'm looking forward to the Fringe more than I can ever remember. It just seems to be really positive this year. Seems to be loads of people talking about it. There's a real buzz about it that I don't think I've noticed in the last few years. And it's been good, there's nothing wrong with it, but this year it just seems as if there's a lot more interest in it. I think it's going to be a great Fringe. And it's interesting that more and more of the outlying towns and little villages want to get involved in it. They want to be part of it. I finally plucked up on the when Deep Purple reformed and played at Knebworth in '85, because I was about mid-20s then, and I'd liked Deep Purple since I was 10, 11, and I never thought that I would get to see them live as a band. I thought that time had passed for me. So when they did reform, I was straight in the queue to get tickets, and it's something I couldn't miss. And I just remember that when they came on stage, I was just stood there like a lot of other grown men around me with tears coming down my face, because it was just fantastic. And nearly 30 years later, God, that's scary. It still means so much to me, and I don't know if Deep Purple realise how much it meant to so many people to do that gig. But yeah, it's probably has to be Deep Purple live at Knebworth, 1985. By trawling through sites like YouTube, because it's all up there now. It's masses and masses of stuff that I never had access to before, because a lot of these albums may be released in America only, so never came over to these shores. But yeah, for certain, I could live just off the music from the 1970s. You can get rid of the 60s and the 80s. I just see Frank Zappa as a musical genius. End of. One of these days I must get a Rory Gallagher born and died date tattooed on me somewhere. That's one of my plans before I get too old to continue with the tattoo work. But yeah, Rory Gallagher's fantastic. I just love him to bits. He is in my top 5 without a doubt, and probably my number 1, but it's, you know, that 1 and 2 will vary as you get older. I think it varies, but he is my favourite guitar player. I think he's the greatest guitar player of all time. I think Jimi Hendrix famously said, he was asked a question, wasn't he? What's it like being the best guitar player in the world? And he turned around and said, I don't know, you better ask Rory Gallagher.